there's one thing you Beerus need to understand. No matter who you are, where you're from, what kind of god you are, you must never, ever slap or even touch Bulma. Because if you do, Vegeta's gonna be pissed off, he's gonna kick your ass. No matter who you are or even a god, he's gonna kick your ass. Literally, he's gonna kick your ass. So let's move on. So here I am, Lord Shells, like always, Dragon Ball Super, episode 7. So here we are. So I'm gonna be really quite short about this episode because it was really quite well, I watched the Battle of Gods and I knew it was gonna happen and what fight they're gonna have. You know, Beerus between Android 18, Piccolo, the Free Eyeball, which I can't fucking remember the name, and Gohan, and even a little bit was expanded, extended with Majin Buu and Beerus, which I was really glad to see. And the other thing, the other funny things were were Whis, eating sushi and everything, and in the end, when Beerus, when he was trying to finish off Vegeta, there you have Bulma came out of nowhere and saying, "You ruined my party, behave yourself," and everything, and even slapped him, even if he didn't hurt, even if he only feel a little that slap, but whatever. And Beerus, of course, slapped her in return and smiled. Because which in Battle of Gods he didn't, or whatever. I'll finally finish in touch, and in the end, of course, Vegeta pissed off because he hit his wife. That's one thing. That's that's one of the things that Vegeta really is always pissed off, because we are not only seen Battle of Gods, we not only seen Dragon Ball Super, we also seen Dragon Ball Z. Few times when Vegeta proved that he cares for Bulma. And he started family. He cares, especially for Bulma, because not only there were scenes, the funny ones, but also the serious ones, when she get hurt and everything. And that's it. There's one thing: every single enemy, that they're gonna face Vegeta, they must never touch Bulma, because Vegeta will be right there, kick their asses, and they'll all be permanently and literally dead. That's one. So, the things what I only wish to say about this episode, because like I said, the battles were somehow like they were in the Battle of Gods, but only different moves and everything, because in Battle of Gods he knocked out Android 18 in one hit, Free-Eyed, Boldy, that's how I like to call him, doing this. He knocked him out, with one move also, and he knocked out, with Japanese chopsticks. He knocked out Piccolo with 2 moves. Just hit him like that, pip, pip, on his body and knocked out. But in the episode 7, they were knocked out with just one fucking look of his eyes and just washed away. Like a strong wind is blowing to them, and they're just flying away. Because it's stronger than them. So, I'm wondering, because this reminds me terribly of One Piece, Hausho Haki, and I'm wondering, does Dragon Ball Universe also have Haki? Or is some kind of a type of god power, but which I actually believe is some kind of a god power, which also is exactly the same thing will happen in this past episode. In this one, when Vegeta transformed into Super Saiyan and tried to attack him, and with just one look, he blocked his attacks, and he couldn't move with his body. So, I suppose it's some kind of a, godlike power, which which can block your own body, and you can be blown away, with just, nothing happen, or even laying a finger on it. So, for my opinion, like I said, I repeat again, it must be some kind of a godlike power, or whatever. And the other thing is that, oh my god, Beerus, really? In Dragon Ball Battle of Gods, he said that if I remember correctly, Dragon Balls are some kind of 7 balls you know, who they gather all together, and Shenron appeared out of nowhere and grants your wish. You know, like that's how he somehow said in Dragon Ball Battle of Gods. But when he said in Dragon Ball Super Episode 7, he said, "Dragon Balls, are they tasty? What kind of food they are?" Oh my god! Really? You don't know what Dragon Balls are? You, even if you're a god? Oh my god, that was really quite impressive and funny also. You know, every single episode when you sell, they always have some kind of a comedy touch. Comedy touch in every single episode. Not only in Super, but also in GT, Dragon Ball Z, and in normal Dragon Ball. Oh, they will always have a comedy touch. And that was one of the greatest ones. The other part was really quite funny. Is the expression of Whis' face when he was eating all the kind of type of sushi food, and like all the distraction was happening, around him and everything. And he was like, I don't give a fuck, I'm eating. What was that? I thought I heard something, like some kind of fly, flew all over me, a gigantic fly who went, who made a really big hole in the ship, and that, for example, like when Beerus dropped down Majin Buu and he was all knocked out, after he used Majin Buu as some kind of a weapon, to hit Gohan and knock him out in one hit. Which also was quite was also really quite impressive and funny, but also, was, obviously because, after all, he's a god. And we talk about gods, I think his name is Dean, or the little Namek, the little green, god from the Namek, which, like I say, he's also a god. And it appears like, when Goku said that he could not sense Kai, any single Kai in his body, in him. So, and in this episode, he felt this Kai in Lord Beerus, a really, really big one. And this confirms it that it appears like when we're talking about gods, only other gods can feel other gods' Kai. The others who are beneath them, they cannot. So for them, it seems like there's some kind of an empty person. So you even don't have the energy or something to fight or something like that. Because there's one thing that somehow I try to understand it, because in Battle of Gods we didn't see the Kai sensing and everything, but in Dragon Ball Super we did. So it appears like only gods can sense other Kai's gods. Some other words. And the other thing was really quite interesting, to see Gotenks, like in Battle of Gods. He was fighting, Beerus and everything, and he didn't do a shit on him, because the first hit, he did the first strike he did on Beerus, it was like nothing to him. He was made, of iron, something like that, because like he was, fighting a cushion, floppy cushion, like he was fighting, nothing, like that bag, when you train your, fist and everything, your strength, for boxing. There was kind of expectation of that scene. Because Gotenks, was, trying to do all his Gotenks, or should I say, Goten and Trunks, put them all together, Gotenks, were trying to do their best, try to punch and destroy Beerus. They were only hitting me like you tried to hit, the boxing bag, when you train, your fists and your speed and everything. And that was kind of an expression for me. Like nothing happened, because when he did the first fist, I'm like, are you done? Because, you will continue, or are you done? Yeah, it was really, quite funny, but also, impressive. Really, really impressive. Because even, everybody knows how much Gotenks they are powerful. I mean, they're not powerful like Goku or Vegeta or Frieza or Cell, but they're really actually quite strong. So, quite, funny, but also, very predictable, because after all, Beerus is a god. So, so after all that, even because in Battle of Gods, when Gotenks, were defeated by Beerus and everything, in Battle of Gods, you know, Beerus slapped them on their asses, you know, a few times. But in Super, he just used two fingers, two fingers, and doing this, like that, and they were repeating, it hurts, 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 and they're dropped down, and they're just like that. They slap the fingers, they just flush, they flow away, and at the end, I'm sorry. They said, we're sorry, come in aside. Yeah. So really quite funny, seeing all their hand, pumped up, all red because it really hurts and everything, when you did this. Because when you did this to a normal person, it only hurts a bit. But when you get hit something like that with when a god hits you like that, it looks like someone put a 5-ton truck. A big gigantic 5-ton truck on your hand and squashed it. So you understand what I mean. So something like that. Because like I said, I really want to be sure about this episode because all of this episode was all about was, everyone was trying to challenge Beerus and his power and everything, and the end, when he slapped Bulma, which also I was really quite happy, they leave that scene like they did in Battle of Gods. Only that in Battle of Gods was a little bit simple, and Dragon Ball Super was really quite spectacular, if we were gonna say like that. With the music and everything, the lights and all the effects. So it was really okay. The other things are, I think I mentioned everything. Yeah, I think I had, yeah. So yeah, here I am done because, like I said, the fight was really the episode was very simple because all the episode was plotting everyone tried to challenge Lord Beerus, and in the end when he slapped Bulma and Vegeta got pissed off. So everybody, if you watch Battle of Gods, you know what's gonna happen. So like I said, I'm done. Rate the video, comment, subscribe, just give me something to personally think about this episode, the fight between Beerus and the guys. So give me your personal thoughts. Drop a like, I would appreciate that. And subscribe, as really is not very difficult. Use your mouse, click. Peace everyone, have an awesome rest of the night. Here in Europe, the other side, have an awesome rest of the day. Laura Shells, like always, signing off. See you around, Dragon Ball fans.